You know, we all deal with money, right? Every single day. But have you ever, really stopped to think about why you handle it the way you do? Why some of us, obsessively save, while others just can't resist a good sale? So today, we're going to go way beyond just budgets and spreadsheets. We're diving into the hidden psychology that's, secretly running your financial life. Let's get right into it. So a lot of the time, we think of personal finance as just a math problem, all about budgets, spreadsheets, interest rates. But what if the biggest factor isn't really the numbers, but the feelings going on inside your head? Turns out, our money moves might be driven way less by cold, hard logic and a whole lot more by our emotions.
Okay, so how do we start to make sense of all these feelings around money? Well, get this. Our financial habits, they're not random at all. They're actually driven by these consistent, underlying patterns. And there's a name for this whole thing, your money personality.
And look, this isn't just some fun, quirky label from a magazine quiz. It's a real framework that helps us figure out the why behind what we do with our money. Think of it kind of like a map that helps you navigate your own impulses, your anxieties, and even your deepest beliefs about what money really means. All right, so let's get to it. Let's meet these personalities. We're going to walk through 4 of the most common types. And as I go through them, just see if one of them starts to sound, a little familiar, or maybe a lot familiar. And hey, just a heads up, no judgment here at all. This is all about discovery. Okay, first up, we've got the money avoider. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. This is the person who would rather do, almost anything else than deal with their finances. For an avoider, money isn't a tool. No, it's more like the monster under the bed. It's this huge source of stress and anxiety that they just want to ignore. So, does this sound familiar at all? The avoider is the one who lets those bills pile up, completely unopened. Just thinking about having a money talk can make them feel super anxious. And a lot of the time, this comes from a really deep-down belief that maybe money is bad, or that they don't really deserve to have it. It's a total out-of-sight, out-of-mind situation, just hoping the problem will magically go away.
So, here's a quick gut check for you. When you see an envelope in the mail that looks like a bill, what's your first instinct? Do you rip it open right away, or does it go on that pile for later? That immediate reaction, it can be a really big clue.
Okay, next up, we have what feels like a polar opposite in some ways, the money worshiper. This is the person who lives by a simple mantra. More money will fix, pretty much everything.
Yeah, the core belief here is that if they just got a bigger paycheck or, won the lottery, all of life's problems would just, poof, disappear. This kind of thinking can lead to this constant chase for more. You're always feeling like you're just one more purchase or one more promotion away from being truly happy.
I mean, it's such a common thought, right? If only I had this much money, then everything would be okay. If that little voice is a regular guest in your head, you might just have some money worshiper tendencies.
Okay, our third type is the money vigilant. Now, these are your super savers, your meticulous planners. They are always prepared. They're watchful, they're cautious, and they know where every single penny is going.
The money vigilant? Oh, for sure. They have an emergency fund, and they can probably tell you exactly where every dollar they've ever spent has gone. But, and this is the interesting part, this vigilance often comes from a place of really deep anxiety. It's like, no matter how much they save, there's this little nagging fear that it's still not going to be enough. And that can actually stop them from enjoying the very security they've worked so hard to build. So, check out this contrast. It's pretty fascinating. The avoider gets stressed from not knowing what's going on with their money. The vigilant, they get stressed from knowing too much, from scrutinizing every little detail. One puts off making decisions altogether, while the other gets totally stuck overanalyzing everything. They're really just 2 sides of the same anxiety coin. And that brings us to our 4th and final type, the money status seeker. For this person, money isn't just about buying things or feeling secure. It's about something much deeper. It's about self-worth. The absolute key here is that direct line they draw between money and their own identity. A money status seeker truly believes that their value as a human being is tied to how much money they have or how successful they appear. This is what's behind buying the fancy car or the designer clothes. It's not just about liking the item. It's about the message of success that it sends out to everybody else. I mean, it's a powerful question to ask yourself. Is your car just a way to get from point A to point B? Or is it also a statement about what you've achieved?
There's really no right or wrong answer here, but being honest about it can reveal a ton about your own relationship with money and status.
Okay, so we've met the whole crew. The avoider, the worshiper, the vigilant, and the status seeker. And maybe you see yourself clearly in one of those, or maybe you're thinking, I'm kind of a mix of a couple of them. The big question now is, what do you do with this? Because that's where the real power is. Really, this whole thing is about building one specific skill, financial self-awareness. It's all about connecting the dots between those hidden beliefs that we all carry around and the very real, tangible money choices we make every single day. And understanding that connection, that is the first and honestly the most critical step if you want to make a real change.
So, the path to a healthier financial life, it literally starts right here. Once you can kind of pinpoint your main type, your default setting, if you will, then you can start to notice your triggers, like what situations make your inner avoider or your inner status seeker totally take over. Because only when you see that can you start to consciously build better, healthier habits.
And this is so important to remember. Figuring out your money personality isn't about putting yourself in a box. It's actually the exact opposite. It's about giving yourself the tools to finally understand your own behavior. So this label, it's not a life sentence. Think of it as a starting point, a launch pad for growth. At the end of the day, no matter which personality you saw yourself in, this right here is probably the single most important takeaway. I mean, it's super important for the status seeker and the worshiper for sure, but it's a vital reminder for every single one of us. Your value as a person has absolutely nothing to do with the number you see in your bank account. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you have this new way of looking at things, what's one of your financial habits that suddenly makes a little more sense? And more importantly, what's one small thing that this new self-awareness can teach you just this week? Thanks so much for joining me